It's making her happy.
So do you think she killed her husband? Let's talk about that.
This is a really tough one because there's multiple sides to the story. I mean, it's obvious that her and her husband towards the end of the marriage were having difficulties towards his disappearance. Sorry, not the end of the marriage. There was multiple things. There's some really suspicious stuff. Like, for example, it was mentioned that her husband had filed a month before his disappearance had filed a restraining order. So he had actually gone, it got denied, but he'd still gone through that process and been like, I think that she's going to try to do something to me.
Right.
So, but then on the flip side, she said that he was potentially suffering from Alzheimer's, and like there was a lot of other stuff going on.
Let me see what she wrote on the website about, because I read it and I let me see what she wrote about the restraining order, because she did write something.
Yeah. She said it was like,
and I didn't really understand.
It had to do with. It said it had to do with like when he was gone, she like got rid of some trailers or something. And he was like pissed off about it. I can't remember exactly what she wrote, if I remember correctly.
So Don spent 1 week per month in Costa Rica. Don was a man who wanted to have sex daily. He would go to Costa Rica during the week, and while I was having my menstrual cycle. I accepted this as something I had to live with. During the week he was away, I would haul off the property as much of the junk as I could. Wendell told Don I was doing this. Don tried calling the police to get them to stop me. They told him he would need a restraining order. It is unclear if it was Don's idea to get a restraining order. So anyway, apparently, I don't know. Like, that's also kind of like...
It's a bit weird.
That's really weird.
Exactly. The whole situation is weird. And also, like, whenever you look at, like forensic files or any of those kind of things, like I'm going back to this, but like the number one, and I'm not saying Carole did it or she didn't, but the number one is like, you look at the people in that person's immediate circle and who had the most to gain, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that she took all the legal proceedings at exactly the right time. So for example, I guess there was like a thing in the documentary where they said, you have to wait 5 years until someone's disappeared before you can claim title to their assets or whatever if you're married. She waited on the day of 5 years, went to the attorney, got all the assets transferred to her name, all of this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of suspicion around that. It's kind of like, I don't know, she had so much to gain from that, and the fact that she wasn't happy in this marriage, I don't know.
I also wonder about if she was maybe like broke and couldn't take care of the tigers. Like, I'm trying to give benefit of a doubt. You know what? The problem is, everyone that when you read comments on like videos and stuff, people are just like, oh, she did it 100%. She for sure did it. There's no doubt in my mind. She should be in jail. I'm like, hey, can you just calm down, please? First of all.
Yeah, like can you take a chill?
Like, you don't know for sure that she did it. Otherwise, she would probably be in jail. There is no actual physical evidence. So, like, let's just... I'm not saying she didn't or did do it. I'm just saying that we don't actually know. Yes, does it look suspicious? Yes, it does.
100%.
But also, we watched one episode of a series, one hour episode, and now you know for sure that she did it. Are you a fucking detective?
Exactly. But this is just it. There's no body. There's no nothing. There's like literally no evidence whatsoever.
Would she have fed him to the tigers?
Do you think she would?
Somebody was saying, what do you call it? Somebody was saying that it was a bit weird that, that scene where Joe Exotic is getting his like foot kind of bitten by the tiger.
Yes.
And then he was like, my God, someone put perfume on my shoes. And then they go back to Carole Baskin. And she's like,
oh my God.
She's like, well, if you wanted someone to kill him, you would put sardine oil on the shoe. And I'm like, this is the kind of shit that they like. This is what they see.
But
Netflix
this is what
very,
I mean.
like,
Netflix.
Yeah, whoever made the producers are very smart at their editing. I'll just tell you 100%. That much.
Exactly, because like honestly, it was like perfect. But there was so many. I can't think of any others. But that's like such a good moment where the editing was just perfect, because it's like have him there, literally getting attacked and being like, "Someone put something on my shoe," and then her being like, "Well, if you want a tiger to kill you, just put sardine oil on their shoes."
And she just knew. See, that's the kind of shit where you're like, "Oh, you knew what to do." I do wonder though that like. If a tiger were to eat a human, would there not be any traces? Like, would there not be any...
I feel like there would be still something.
Right?
Do you know what I mean? Like, because they wouldn't typically, like, we have big bones and stuff in us. So I feel like they wouldn't necessarily, like, eat through all of the bones of us. But I mean, I guess I'm not a tiger expert, so I don't know.
What do you think about the meat grinder theory?
Oh, God. Well, apparently, again, Netflix did Carole dirty on this when she said, quote... Right. that the meat grinder that they have is actually a very small like tabletop one where like if you were to put meat in it, like you would literally could put the meat the size of like my hand into the meat grinder.
Right.
So like to put a full, it's not like a full like industrial style meat grinder. So to do that, you would need like to chop up a body into like so many parts.
Right.
So like, and yet Netflix on the show, they showed like this massive industrial meat grinder that would be at like a warehouse. Not the one that she had.
See, that's very deceptive. Like, come on. That's a little bit mean.
Like, it's so bad.
The thing is, like, I do feel it. Okay, if she did not do it, right, which there is a chance that she didn't do it because there is actually no evidence that she did. And if she didn't do it, I would feel just so bad for her because now this show is blowing up. Everyone thinks she killed her husband. It was already probably bad before because she was already getting accused. Yeah. And now this entire thing has become global.
Oh my God. It's like the Stephen Avery case. It's just exploded, right? Like this whole like TV, this whole series has just exploded across the globe. It's huge in Spain as well, like international.
Yeah.
So everyone will know who Carole Baskin is.
I know.
Poor woman.
I just feel bad for what's going to happen to the tigers in the sanctuary. Hopefully, if she loses somebody can take care of the tigers.
Someone will take over.
I don't know.
Hopefully they have some kind of like trust or something, or like a, I don't know, directorship.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Another thing that I just have the refuting statement by Carole Baskin on my desktop. So I'll just read one more interesting thing. So, let's see. Application for a restraining order. Don spent 1 week so that was the restraining order part. And then, he filed the restraining order and, let's see. Don disappeared 2 months later in August. Anne claims Anne is the secretary.
Don's secretary.
Yes. Yeah. Anne claims.
But apparently, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, apparently, according to that, I think that they were saying that this secretary had actually been embezzling funds from the company. So actually, they had just filed a lawsuit with this secretary. So obviously, she was a disgruntled employee and was not happy with Carole. So obviously, she wouldn't be a great person to interview either, even though they said that she was so close to Don and blah, 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 blah. But yet... And they in that document that you have in front of you, I think they linked the lawsuit. Yep. So
that's the thing. This is this is the thing. This is why you can't just watch one episode of a series and think that someone is guilty of murder. Like, come on, guys. Now,
goddamn, I think that they could do a full series on Carole Baskin and the disappearance of her husband.
Yes, oh my God, I would watch the shit out of that. Like, I would love to see that. I mean, I have to say that she's not very convincing as an innocent. You know what I mean? Like, she seems it's just because she's so eccentric as well, and the way she talks.
She has crazy eyes.
Yeah, she definitely has those crazy eyes. So like when she talks, you're just like, oh God, like you are not very convincing as a non-murderer.
I know. She's like, oh, hi, all you big, and the way she looks at it like this with her eyes. Hi, all you big cats and kittens. I'm Carole. It's like, oh my God. Like, this is actually something out of a horror movie. Like, seriously.
Oh God, she is something else. Anyways, I need to find. Yeah, so they did link it somewhere. I can't find it right now, but apparently, she got caught for embezzling money or whatever, which is
or something like
that you should probably talk about in the show if you're gonna
100%.
Yeah, if you're gonna accuse
someone,
you're
gonna give her credit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see.
But yeah, I think like at the end of the day, they should have included that point in the documentary about her embezzling or trying to embezzle some. It was like either funds or property.
I found it. Okay. Anne McQueen is referred to as Don's trusted assistant. A few months before his disappearance, we caught her embezzling roughly $600,000 in properties by buying them with our funds and putting them in her name. A court ordered her to return them. Not the best sign of integrity, credibility, someone to believe. And then there is a link to the case, which is very interesting. So, again, not to be trusted.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's kind of like, again, it's like Don's ex-wife. She's not going to have good things to say about Carole either way. You know what I mean? So, and neither are her kids. Like,
immediately when they were interviewing them and the wife was saying stuff, I was just like, oh, it's not really a credible source. You know what I mean?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Oh God. Honestly,
anyways,
I mean,
but again, maybe she did do it. We have no idea. There's a lot of, again, this document is very long. Maybe we'll link it in the show notes so you guys can read it yourself. We don't know. We don't know. There is no evidence at the end of the day. But why does a
There'd be
man just
no
disappear?
evidence.
Like, what a strange story.
That's the weird. No, exactly. That's the weirdest thing. It's like people don't just disappear.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
what's
and
an
there's a whole
alternative theory? What do you think? Alternatively, let's say she didn't kill him, right? So do you think he's still alive somewhere? Like,
well, they said that he was potentially in the documentary. They said another option is that he fled or he like went to Costa Rica.
yes,
You know what I mean? Because he like loved Costa Rica and he wanted to live there, so he disappeared to Costa Rica. But then why would he leave all of his funds, his assets, everything that he'd worked his whole life for? And apparently he was quite a stingy man that like loved his money.
Right.
So he wouldn't just like leave it with her. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Like,
right.
if he had gone to Costa Rica, she would literally have nothing. That's what would have happened. From the sounds of like how Don was as a person with regards to money and everything else.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
So,
interesting. You know, it would be helpful because she keeps
weird.
saying that he has like Alzheimer's or he could have had Alzheimer's. Like, it would be helpful if they had some kind of medical record, but who knows? We can just go by whatever she's saying and whatever everyone else is saying. But it was also interesting that his friend was like, "Oh, if I can pull this off, then it would be the best thing. It would be the greatest thing I've ever pulled off," or something like that. Remember, before he left. So that's another like weird thing to say. You know, who says that? That sounds like someone that's ready to go and hide somewhere.
Exactly. It sounds like he's a very strange man, though. I mean, the fact that he was like he apparently needs to have sex every single day, so he would leave when she was on her menstrual cycle to go have sex with somebody in Costa Rica. Like, really? Like, come on. Like, that's
so
ridiculous.
Crazy. So crazy.
So crazy and so just like, honestly, all of these people.
Okay,
like,
and the